Around the time I was getting ready to study abroad, I was unsure of many things in my life. Recent changes in relationships, family, and my sense of self had left me feeling unsure about studying abroad. I almost backed out, and I'm so glad I didn't. Even though a lot was unclear in my life at this point, one thing that was, and has always been constant, is music. I've always known it was my passion, but I was nervous about how that would translate to being abroad. What if I didn't have time to practice? What if I couldn't find anywhere to play? I wish I could tell my past self to just relax, because I couldn't have imagined how much my music would flourish while abroad. About a week after I got to New Zealand, I was invited to play in a backyard music showcase hosted by students from the University of Otago, and I was ecstatic. This was exactly the kind of music community event I was craving. Because of that encounter, I was invited to play at another large show, and met many other musicians through that, who went on to become some of my closest friends. Soon, I became associated with singing and playing guitar, and I felt like I was being seen as my true self. My best memories of New Zealand, and there are a lot of them, are related to music. Whether it was just singing around a campfire or performing at a local venue, music was a cornerstone of my life in New Zealand. Previously in my life, I had downplayed just how much music meant to me. Maybe I was afraid of exposing such a vulnerable part of myself. But before I left for New Zealand, I made a promise to myself to be the most me that I could while abroad. This meant leaning into how much music meant to my identity, not shying away from it. Because of this, I met lifelong friends who saw me for who I was, because they thought of me as the singer or the musician. I got more gigs in town, and seeing my friends show up to support me meant the world. The effect of solidifying my relationship with music has stayed with me ever since my time in New Zealand. The confidence I gained from having made a splash in the music scene in such a short amount of time has also stayed with me. Studying abroad in New Zealand was a time of extreme personal growth for me. With newfound time to write and reflect in stunningly beautiful places, I was able to decide who I was in the world and what I really cared about. I took note of how genuinely happy I was in New Zealand, and decided I wanted my life and my identity after I left New Zealand to mirror the person I had grown into while I was there. A musician, a lover of the earth, a friend.